everybody, it's Amy Graham, Badass Valkyrie, and today I wanted to talk about some changes that I have been doing secretly behind the curtain. No, I have been reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I have changed some things based on his research, and it's all scientifically proven. It's a really good book. I'm about a third of the way through. I got it on Tuesday. But I've been following him for a while now on YouTube and watching his interviews, watching podcasts that have interviewed him, watching different YouTube interviews that are out about him, about his theories and processes, about changing habits. And it has made a lot of sense. And it's clicked for me really, really well. And so the past probably month and a half, 2 months, I've been looking at his research and ways that he suggests changing non-impactful habits or habits that are not helping your life, but maybe not necessarily hindering your life, and changing them to something that is more impactful. And I know each and every one of you out there, because we're all planner girls who love to check off little boxes. Either it's a to-do list or to-da list. It's a list. And as many of you have seen in my Hobonichi, I have a little list of 17 things. 17! That I wanted to check off every day. Still do. Because I can't not do it right now. However, some things have changed. And a couple of those things are, I've adjusted, for the last week, 9 days? 8 days? No, 9 days? Okay, truth be told, I started this on the 13th, but because I'm wackadoo, I'm like, it's starting on the 15th. But then I was like, why don't I just start a little earlier? We're starting on the 15th because I like to do things on the 1st and the 15th, or it's a whole numbers thing in my head. So, on the 13th, kind of half-assed it a little bit on the 13th, 14th, and then I just got full-blown into it on the 15th. But I have been getting 8 hours of sleep a night. It's amazing. So most of you who've known, who have been following me, know that I was doing the Miracle Morning, and I still am. But sorry, my bangs are like making me crazy. And no, I did not get a haircut or change. It's just flat. Because when it's rainy and wet here, just straightening it is so much easier than curling it and watching it fall. So it's just been so humid with all the rain and everything that it's just easier this way. So no, haven't cut my hair. I did dye it again, but it's the same. It's my natural color, so. Tangent. So I've been getting 8 hours of sleep. And I was doing Miracle Morning and getting up anywhere from 5 to 5:30 in the morning so that I could do my Miracle Morning. 6 hours of sleep, sometimes 5.5, is not very good for me. And so I've had to adjust that. And I've been doing the 8 hours of sleep for 9 days. And I will say that I go to bed at 10 o'clock on the dot. I'm in bed at 10 o'clock. And I was getting up at 6, 9:30 I would start my wind down routine and take a shower and do all that kind of thing. But at about 5:30, I was just kind of waking up and I'm like, da-da-da, and I would try to like go back to sleep. And I would nod off, but then I would wake up in the wrong, like I wouldn't get to REM sleep and so it was just felt like I was forcing myself, and I was kind of getting more tired than I would have been if I just got up at 5:30. So this week I'm going to try to see where I naturally wake up and kind of adjust to that. So and then if 5:30 happens to be it, then I'll be able to work the Miracle Morning back into my morning and still have that and still get 7.5 hours of sleep. So I figured that 2 weeks before my triathlon was probably a very good time to get as much sleep as possible. I've also increased my water intake to 78 ounces per day, and I've met that. And up here, I will show you a picture that hangs on my refrigerator, and it's just checking off certain things. And it's just a blank calendar that it's like a big giant sticky note that I had, and I've just written out different things four things that I want to check off every day. And if I do every day, then I get a big check. And I just don't want to break that chain. So those 4 things are sleeping 8 hours. Now I'm going to adjust it down to like 7.5. Drinking 78 ounces of water every day. And training or rest day. I've also adjusted my training. So I am only training every other day. I take every other day as a rest day to let my body heal and recover, because I was putting myself back into adrenal fatigue trying to prepare for this triathlon. And so at least now I kind of know what's going on, instead of like, I'm just so tired, I don't want to do anything, I've got melancholy, I don't know. I was going back into adrenal fatigue. And so getting all this rest, getting all the water, taking care of my body has helped tremendously. So I have been doing that. And then my 4th thing is writing something every day. And whether it is writing in my journal, writing in my personal notebook, writing in my research for my upcoming novel, all of that, whatever it is, writing something every day. And whether it's a sentence, whether it's 3 pages, whatever it is, every day, something every day. And I have. And focusing on those 4 things, just for those 4 things, has changed things tremendously for the better. And I feel better. I feel more energized to want to do other things. And, segregating my training to every other day gives me time to do other things that I wanted to get done. I'm participating in the Super Wild 30 right now. It just started today, and we're in the middle. We're doing a whole week of declutter for the first thing. Then the second week is lettering. Third week is something creative with the journal. I don't know for sure. Then the 4th week is budgeting. Week 1, week 4, focusing. But I was looking at changing some habits and looking at goals and things like that. And I came across James Clear and this book. This book just got released on Tuesday, and I got it delivered on Tuesday because I pre-ordered it. I paid for it myself. I'm not getting anything back for this or anything like that. It's a dang good book. And I'm trying to get through it because tomorrow the bullet journal method from Mariah Carroll comes out, and I'm like, it's going to be delivered tomorrow. And I'm like, ah! But ideally, as much as I have seen out of both of these books, and I've read several chapters out of both of them because I've pre-ordered both, they're going to fit together very, very well with habits and the methods the writer talks about and bullet journaling and all of that. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I will have an update for you for my bullet journal, and we'll go from there. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over some things that I am changing in my self-care because of me adjusting some habits and adjusting some goals. One of the biggest things that I've taken away from this book so far, and like I said, I'm only a third of the way in, is you take on an identity. You don't necessarily have these big goals like, I want to run a triathlon, which I'm doing in 2 weeks. After that 2 weeks, I've met that goal. So I'm kind of boxing myself in, going, well, you've met that goal, check that off, boop, we're done, awesome. So he talks about actually making it part of your identity, because then you're more apt to stick with the habit and make it a positive habit that reinforces what you want it to reinforce, instead of having a list of 17 dumbass things. You're just like, boom, 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 boom. Look at me! I got 17 things checked off today. They don't really mean anything. So, so instead of having the goal of running a triathlon, which is a goal, I can't change that. But on top of that, the goal beyond that, the reasoning beyond that is I want to become a triathlete. The process of writing every day is I want to become a writer. These are habits that writers have. Not just I want to write my first novel. So far that goal has not got me anywhere, and I've had that goal for 4 years. So, but I want to have habits that writers have so that I can become a writer. And so in my head, if I am a writer, these are the things that I do. If I'm an athlete, these are the things that I do. These are the things that are important to me to become that thing. An athlete. When I was becoming a fighter, and I am a fighter, whether I pick up my sword again in my lifetime, I am a fighter. But there was so much that I had to do to get to that. And it took me forever to admit that. After my surgery, it took me almost 3 years to actually say I was an athlete. And I'm like, I train 4, sometimes 5 hours a freaking day, and I can't utter the words I'm an athlete? Are you kidding me? Seriously? So you have to become it to help those habits develop. And instead of setting a goal, I want to write my first novel, what I want to do is to become a writer. Preferably a writer that gets paid. But I need to have habits that promote being a writer within me and help positively reinforce that identity within me. So I just want to take you guys through a couple of different changes that I've made in my self-care and in my pocket, and all because of this book. And hopefully it might help you guys kind of figure out what you're going to be doing in 2019 and that kind of thing. Because that's where all of this came from, was what are my goals for 2019? And then I was like, well, let's not have the same stupid ass goals that I did last year that I did not get done. Even though some of them are still there. But there's a reasoning behind that, and I'll go into that probably in the next video. So anyway, let's go ahead and flip this bad boy around. I've rambled enough. And let me show you what I've changed back into my Hobonichi Weeks and my pocket. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Really the only thing that I've changed in this is I have added, I have gone back to my Yellow Paper House food tracker. This I had no problems keeping track of, and it's just so I can pay attention. And so this weekend I got off track, but again, today I'll go back in and fill this out. No, I actually, I have it written down in here, and so I'll go back in and fill this in. But this helped so much, and I found myself wanting to reach for this again, and so I have put this in my pocket and just tucked it in there. And it has been working out fine because this is always in my handbag. So my food tracking is back in here. And then in my weeks, this is my Weeks Mega, which is my self-care. As you know, I put all of my self-care stuff here and was food tracking on this side, and that was working fine. But again, I wanted the ease of this. Let me get it back out here for a minute, because here I couldn't put, like, here's some blank, because you get the calories, the carbs, the fat, and the protein. And those are the things that I kind of want to focus on. And I'm still not getting it for everything, but I am paying attention at least more than I was. And like I said, I'm down to 225, so it is working. And so I didn't have that here. And so what I've done is I have gone back to putting the things, the 4 things that I talked about over here were 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, 78 ounces of water, writing something every day, and training or rest day every other day. So, and then here I'm going to, again, put back in what I'm doing for self-care every day here. Because I found when I was just writing down my meals that I really wasn't putting my self-care, what I was doing every day, anywhere. And, you know, I thought, well, I'll just write it down over here, but it just really wasn't sticking. And so even if this is the only thing I track over here, fine. But I'm used to this being the things that make me happy and little things that happen out of the ordinary. And then writing down, well, this week is going to be, you know, I'll also add in the what I'm doing for the declutter week for the Super Wild 30 online. But and today is declutter day 1, and it's basics. You fill one big black trash bag full of either trash, something to recycle or to donate. Either one big black bag or 2 of the white bags. And so as soon as I finish the video, I'm going to do that. And then posting a picture of it. And so my choice today is clearing my stairwell. Because when I walk in, the stairs are right to my, are immediately to my left. And it just kind of becomes a dump all of stuff. And it's just kind of piling. I'm a piler. And I hate that. My mother was a piler. And now I'm like, oh, it's the sickness is traveling. So I want to go through all of the little piles. If you could see around me, which I'm not going to show you, little piles everywhere, and makes me crazy because I'm like 2 steps removed from a hoarder. Oh, so that's what we're focusing on, is getting back to writing down specifically what I'm doing for self-care every day, and these are a big part of that, and it has made me feel so much better. Just getting more sleep, getting all of my water in, and everything else is just kind of falling in line. I have much more energy to do things. My mental clarity is tremendously different. I don't feel just constantly exhausted and wanting to do nothing. And I get energized when I get home and I'm like, all right, let's do this. Let's figure out what I want to do. And it feels like I have a plan and I know ahead of time what I'm doing, and it has helped so much. So it's just looking at things a little bit differently. Not even a huge amount of difference, just a little bit different. I mean, I was tracking my water, but I would just put a check mark going, yeah, I think I got it. No, I am tracking every ounce of water that I'm getting right now because I want to make sure that I get that. I am tracking when I go to bed and when I wake up so that I know, did I get 8 hours of sleep last night? Did I get 7.5 hours of sleep? What did I get? And making sure that I put that in and being accountable for it. And that has made a huge difference for me. And there are times when, I mean, like I just focus on training and I just forget about everything else. And like stupid things, but like today, I got to wear sandals to work because it was like 71 today. And I haven't worn sandals in a couple of weeks because it's been cold, like 50s. And I'm like, now my feet are going to freeze. So I go to put on sandals and I'm like, holy cow, my toes look horrible. I need a pedicure. Oh my gosh. And then I went, when was the last time I did a pedicure? And I'm like, I haven't had a pedicure in like months. And I know the last couple of times I just was like, it doesn't matter. It's winter. It's fine. I'll just paint them and just do it over. And I was like, no. You need to take the time, go get a pedicure. It always makes you feel better. And then you can look down at your toes, see the pretty little flower on my big toe, and that makes me happy. And it's little things like that that just get pushed to the side that I'm like, what the hell? The triathlon that I've signed up for, I don't get a medal. They're not giving a medal unless you win your age bracket, which, let's be real, there's no way in hell I'm going to win my age bracket. Women 50 to 54 are crazy, especially the triathletes. So I'm like, you know what? When I get that t-shirt, that Sunday after my triathlon, my first point of business is to wear that t-shirt, go get a pedicure and a manicure probably. I'm like, that's my reward for doing that. You know, I don't get to hang up a medal because I was an idiot and chose a race that didn't have one, but I will at least get a t-shirt. And so that's going to be my self-care on Sunday. In fact, you know what? We're just going to put that in. Go get your winner's circle pedicure. So, this is my triathlon. So, there you go. It's in there. So that will be my self-care for that day. At least one thing. Who knows what else I might do. So, but yeah, I have a problem sometimes. I get super focused on something and then other things fall by the wayside. But in reading this book and looking at the things that are important and making time for that and realizing I don't need to check a box just because I need to check a box. It gives me more time. And so it has opened up a lot of information for me and realization that I don't need to check off 17 billion things. Let's see if I can kind of find one of those. Back when I was doing the 17, well, it's in my cousin. Oh, here we go. Yeah. These whole, all of these things, just making sure I do all of those. And I'm like, why? Why do I do that? And so figuring out the few things, and I was hell-bent I was not going to do more than 4. And once these become a habit, then I'll pick something else. But I want to get these down first. These will make the most difference to me right now. Getting enough sleep, getting enough water, training or resting, and writing something every day. That's my focus. And it has freed up so much more time to think about other things and going, okay, so what am I going to do for self-care today? Instead of going, oh, well, I'll just make that my self-care for today. No, you need to put some thought into this and figure out something that will make you feel better and make you feel good. And don't discount yourself. Because in order for you to take care of somebody else, you need to take care of yourself first. Whether that is your children, your husband, your cats, your dogs, whatever, your coworkers, whatever. You need to focus on yourself first. It is not selfish to do self-care. And it has taken me forever to get that through my head. And, people out there are like, oh, well, you're just focusing too much on yourself. No, I'm not. Granted, I don't have children, but I have a husband. I have a YouTube channel. I have training. Every portion of my day is planned out from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. And I could put many other things in that, but I choose to make time for what's important because of what I want to be, the person I want to be. I want to be a writer. I want to be an athlete. I want to be a novelist. I want to be the best me that I can be. And if that means taking a month and making sure I do these things, these 4 things, for me, I'm going to do it. And I'll work on something else, next month. But when I'm looking at my goals for 2019, I don't just want to set something random and go, okay, I'll check that off. No. And I'm reevaluating my 101 goals in 1001 days and looking at different things, different places to travel, because now my husband wants to move overseas when we retire, and I have a list of 6 countries that he has for options. And I'm like, okay, instead of going all of these other places, let's put these on the list and go visit there. So we know, do we want to move to Belize? Do we want to move to Costa Rica? Do we want to move to Portugal? Do we want to move to Spain? Do we want to move to Malta? I have no idea where Malta is. No idea. No idea what language they speak. I don't know. Husband just told me that yesterday. I'm like, so any other countries? He goes, yeah, I'm thinking Malta. I'm like, that's a country? Okay. Awesome. So, yeah, doing some research, figuring out travel there, a vacation there, see what we can do. So, this has been a big change that I've been trying to wrap my head around and trying to explain. But I just figured I would come out and tell you guys and go, okay, figure it out. Do your thing. Because you may get something from James Clear that I don't get, or somebody that helps you. I was listening to information from Oprah the other day, which I love Oprah. Absolutely love her. But I was never like a diehard Oprah fan. Oh my gosh. But she was talking about the poem Invictus. I'd never read it. Ever. Never even heard of it. And I was like, I should look that up. Looked it up, almost started weeping. It was life-changing. And I'm like, why have I never heard of this? Well, I don't know, but now that I have, I'm going to use it. And just broadening my mind and reading and doing other things that are important to me. And what, you all have very different lists and things like that are important to you. Look at them. Make sure they are important. And we're not just checking something off just for the sake of checking something off. Because believe me, I was the queen of that. And so now I'm looking at it and evaluating, how is this helping me? Is it helping me? There were several things that weren't. And I'm like, I don't need that. Let's make time for what's going to help me become the person that I want to be, or help me be the person that I am. So anyway, that's my little tangent on self-care and habits. And as I get further into the book, you will hear more about that, and you'll hear more about Ryder Carroll's bullet journal method. I get that delivered tomorrow, and I'm hoping to merge the two at some point. So we'll see, but I will hopefully do an update in my bullet journal in the upcoming months. And so stay tuned, because who knows what 2019 is going to look like for me. But right now is when I'm planning and figuring it all out. And I would rather take the last quarter of this year to figure that out than start the quarter with no plan whatsoever. So, as always, spend the rest of your life celebrating, and celebrate being you. And focus on you. Take some time, because we all know the holidays makes everybody crazy. And so take the time now that you can and figure out things that will make you happy and help you with self-care. And realize that it's not you being selfish. In fact, use me as the scapegoat. Amy told me that we should focus on this. There you go. I'm giving you permission to focus on yourself till the end of the year. There you go. It's 2.5 months. What could it hurt? Give it a try. Why not? All right, you guys. I have rambled enough. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later.